Oh, hello guys, welcome back. So this video is, I think, again a part of Java tricky questions, if I'm not wrong. Sorry if I was not able to put videos for the last 3 days because I was out. But yeah, mm, let's start again. So the first question we have is, what is the difference between poll and remove methods of the queue? So it's a kind of a thing that both does the same operation, right? But what is the thing which actually differentiate between that? So when a queue is empty and a poll method fails, it will return null. But if a queue is empty and remove method fails, it will throw an exception. So that is the main point. So just think about this. Uh, I think you have used queue or poll quite a lot when you're coding. So at that particular point of time, I think we always go with poll, right? So poll is the one which is safe for us for now. If you want to throw an exception, if your queue is null, then you can use a remove. Okay. Now the next question is, can you catch an exception thrown by another thread in Java? Okay. So yeah, it can be done by using thread.uncaught exception handler. So what does Java documentation says about it? So it's basically when a thread is about to terminate due to an uncaught exception, the JVM will query the thread for its uncaught exception using the thread.get uncaught exception handler. Then it will invoke that handler's uncaught exception and passing the thread and the exception as an argument. Okay. So how do you decide which type of inner class, static or non-static, to use in Java? So basically, what is an inner class? An inner class will actually have all the access to the fields of the method enclosing that class, right? Which is the inside which inner class is there. So it is very convenient for event handlers, but it comes at a cost. So every instance of an inner class, it will retain and requires a reference to its enclosing class. Due to this cost, there are many situations where static nested classes are preferred over inner classes. Okay. When instances of the nested class outlive the instances of the enclosing class, then the nested class should be static to prevent memory leaks. At times, due to their hidden differences to enclosing class, inner classes are harder to construct via reflection. Okay. So now I think what is the understanding in this? So it is the understanding that if we have a static nested class, then when it is required, when you want the instance of that nested class to outlive the instance of the enclosing class, then only you should put your inner class as static. Uh, Due to their hidden references to enclosing class, inner classes are harder to construct via reflection. So now what are the different types of class loader? See, we basically have three types of class loader: bootstrap, class loader extension, and system, right? So application class loader. So bootstrap means it will load the first rt.jar classes from the folder. Extension will load from all the libraries and all. And system or application class loader will actually load the jar files from the path specified in the class path, right? So this is what the class loaders are. Now, what are the situation in which you choose hash set or tree set? So hash set is always better when you want O of one kind of a thing and you want a unstructured or unorganized or organized set. So it gives you an O of one for add, remove, and contains, whereas tree set will actually give you a log n because at the end it uses a tree to sort it out, right? So yeah. What is the use of method references in Java? So Java has uh, introduced method references. So it allows the constructor, uh, kind of a constructor, right? And methods to be used as lambdas. So The main use of method defenses are to improve code organization, clarity, and terseness. Do you think Java enums are more powerful than integer constants? Yes, and many features are there in Java enums which are not there in uh, integer constants. So Java enum can be considered as a final class with a fixed number of instances, and enums can implement interface but cannot extend another class. Okay, so while implementing the strategy pattern, we can use this feature of enums, especially when the number of strategies is fixed. You can always attach a metadata to enum values in Java. Also, enum values are type safe, whereas the integer constants are not. You can also define custom behavior in enum values. So why do we use static initializers in Java? So static initializer can run code during the initial loading of a class. That's why it guarantees that a code will run only once. Also, static code will finish running before a class is accessed in any way. So that is why it is a good thing. So initializing static members from constructor is more work. You have to make sure that every constructor does this, right? So you need to maintain a flag to mark the static work when it is done. You may have to think about synchronization, race conditions for work in static blocks, not initialized from static constraint. So that is what. Okay, so now there's a scenario-based question. So your client is complaining that your code is throwing low class definition found error or no such method error. Even you are able to compile your code without error or method class in your code. What could be the reason? So sometimes what we do is we upgrade our libraries, right? Even with the same method. But we forget that the client know about the new is not know about the new version. Due to this, the difference in version, we get the no class definition found or no such method found at runtime when one library was not compatible with such an upgrade. So Java has this IDs and all right, which can actually gives you a dependency report, but this is what it has. So so this question is how can you check if a string is a number by using a regular expression? So it is like pattern dot compile dot star slash slash d dot star. Basically, it should start with it should actually comes from 0 to 9. So that is what it is. What is the difference between the expressions string s is equals to temporary or string s is equals to new string temporary? Which one is better and more efficient? So in general, right, this is more efficient because it creates a one memory. But if you go with these two, it so let's talk about first case. The string with a value temporary is created in string pool. If another string with the same value is created, those string s2 will also direct point to temporary only. Okay, but string s is equals to new string means it will create a value in string pool always. Also, it will create a object for that. So this calls creates another string object with the value, right? Therefore, each such call creates a additional string object. So that is the problem. In Java, can two equal objects have different hash code? No, in Java, do different hash codes can have equal objects, but uh, two with same hash code, the two objects can may or may not be equal, right? Sorry, I think I missed that. So basically, if two objects are equal, you will have the same hash code. But if two hash codes are equal, you may or may not have the same object. I don't want to do this, but just I found this one, so I'm just trying to see. Array dot d to string. So that is another thing. Is it okay to use random numbers in the implementation of hash code method in Java? No, I'll tell you why no. Because it will give, if you hash the code right, it should give you the exact one. If you go on random, this will break the hash code contract. Simple. Okay, between two types of dependency injections, Constructor injection and Shatter dependency injection, which one is better? It always depends. But the first thing is constructor injection. It will be giving you a guarantee that the class will be initialized with all its dependency during the creation itself. But Shatter injection provides you the flexibility to set an optional dependency. So if you are using an XML5 file to describe dependency, then Shatter will be more readable. In general, constructor injection for mandatory dependency and Shatter injection for optional dependencies. So what is the difference between Dom and Sax parser, SAX parser in Java? So DOM is basically a document object model, which loads the whole XML into memory, create a tree based on the DOM model. This helps to quickly locate the node and make a change in the structure of XML. Okay, that's right. Got it. In simple API for XML, parser is an event-based parser. So it will not load the XML into memory. Due to this DOM is faster and SAX require more memory and not suitable for parsing the large files. So between enumeration and iterator, which one has better performance in Java? So enumeration is a read-only interface. It has better performance than iterator. It is almost twice as fast compared to iterator, and it has very less memory also. It does not have a remove method. But being said that, iterator interface is safer than enumeration since it can check whether a collection is modified during the iteration or not. So it will actually give you the benefit of concurrent modification exception. Then what is the difference between pass by reference and pass by value? So when an object is passed by value, it means the copy of the object is passed. Even if the changes are made to the object, it does not affect the original value. When an object is passed by reference, that means whenever the thing is done right, that is there. It's simple when you create a hash map, right? And you send the hash map. So it will be a different, but if you send a new hash map, so I mean, it actually depends on how you are sending. Right now, Java is always passed by value. So yeah. What are the different ways to sort a collection in Java? Is collection.sort. You can use comparator. You can use tree set, tree map, and all those things. Okay, I think my throat is giving up now. So we'll meet tomorrow. Bye bye.